Hey everybody, this is Peter and welcome to the show today. Well, today's show is really not about a recipe per se. It's more about this, which is the Ninja Combi. And I've had this now for about a year and a half. I'm going to share with you my good ideas, what I have found not to work very well, and I thought I would go over one recipe with you as I go through this. So let's get started and let me give you my 1 year thoughts on the Ninja Combi. Let's go. Okay, welcome to the show, and I'm going to be talking about the Ninja Combi today. And let me share with you that I've had this for about a year and a half. I think I bought it the summer of 2024. I'm kind of a late adapter to some of the Ninja products. I did buy the Ninja Speedy prior to this, and I think the Ninja Speedy is a great tool. I bought two because they were a little bit small, and so I thought when I have bigger groups, I would use both Speedies. But in the end, I went ahead and bought the Combi instead. And so I also gave away those two Ninja Speedies to some friends, and they love them and they use them all the time. The Ninja Combi for me has been a very good workhorse in my kitchen. And I've used it for many things. And I have seen some videos on YouTube that I really did not like what I was seeing, so I have not tried those things, to be honest with you. For example, I haven't seen one pasta dish come out really well from any creator on YouTube showing the Combi and a pasta dish. I've not tried that. I have done a lot of rice dishes, which I'm going to show you today, and also a lot of air frying with this. As many of you know who watch my channel, you know that I bake bread. I've used the proofing tools of this to proof the dough. It works great. I have made in here a cake. I have made a cheesecake. So it has a lot of good tools that I have used, and so I'm really happy with those. This has about 14 different things that Ninja says it can do, but as with all Ninja products, and by the way, I'm not sponsored by Ninja in any way. I'm not affiliated with Ninja in any way. I pay full price for all of the Ninja products that I have. And I do that so that I can give you my honest opinion, and I'm not being judged or swayed in any way by Ninja to be saying things that I should be saying because they provided a product or paid for it. I don't do that. And many of you say, well, he hates Ninja. God, I've seen the comments. They are ridiculous. So I don't hate Ninja. I have so many Ninja products, it would fill a warehouse sometimes. So don't worry about that. I really like the Ninja products. So on this machine, it has some cool features. And what I really like about them, number one, is that sometimes I'll be working at home in my office, and then I look up and it's about 6:15 in the evening time. I haven't even thought about what I'm going to make for dinner. So the Ninja Combi has been a good workhorse for that, because you can have meals ready to go in about 15 or 20 minutes using the Combi meal program. I have done that many times, and it works really well on certain things. I've also cooked a pizza in here. You have to watch your times and temps on the pizza because this is such a small oven that it will cook the pizza very fast. And so I've cooked frozen pizzas, what I'm talking about, like a DiGiorno. Popped it in there, works really well. You just gotta start watching the times around 8 or 9 minutes because that's when the pizza's gonna be ready in some cases. Now in some cases it'll take as long as 15 minutes. So watch that so you don't burn your pizza up. I've also used a sous vide function on this. Didn't care for it that much. I have a sous vide circulator, which I've shown you in a previous video, and have a new one from a company called Inkbird. I like that one a lot. And so the sous vide and this machine didn't really care for it. So I've tried that one out. Also, I don't like the rice feature, the rice cooking feature on this. I don't think it does a good job. I've had better success with this cooking rice dishes using the steam function. I have a video on that I've already done, cooking the perfect rice with the Combi. So you'll want to make sure that you watch that video if you're interested in that. The biggest feature of cooking really good rice, in my opinion, is that you have to rinse the rice. And I'll show you how to do that in that particular video. And I'll talk more about that in just a few minutes. I've also not used the broil feature of this. If I'm going to be broiling meats, I'm going to be out on the grill, to be honest with you. and my Ninja wood fire grill or my regular gas grill. That's where I'll be broiling meats. The other features that I have used on this, I think I've already told you about baking a cake. I have not made bread in here before. I think I've made it in the Speedy, wasn't happy with it. And so, you know, I bake a lot of bread, and so I'm pretty particular about how that turns out. So let me show you some of the features that the Ninja Combi comes with in the standard package. It has the Ninja Combi, of course. It has this cooking tray, and this typically goes on the top when you're cooking something. It has the pan, which is this smaller depth pan, and then it has this feature, which is the air crisping tray. Now you can put things down here like rice and things like that for a combi meal, and then put the other things here if you're going to be air frying. Works great for that. And then typically you would be putting proteins and some vegetables on this tray, and this is what will be going on the top whenever we're going to be cooking our meats here in a few minutes. Now I did go ahead and buy a couple of other features, and to be honest with you, I've used each one of these a couple of times and that's it. But this is a more in-depth or a deeper pan. So I have used this a couple of times when I'm making things like stews or some soups, chilies. I have used this one before. And also, I have over here the cake baking pan. Okay, today I'm just going to be making a combi meal, which is going to be some rice along with some stir-fried chicken and veggies. So I'm going to be putting that in the machine. We're going to go through one cook today, and if you want to see more cooks or more preparation in the combi, drop a note below in the comment area, and if you want to see more, I'll be cooking more with this if you want to see that. Okay, let me get that set up for us and I'll be right back. Okay, I'm ready to put this combi meal together for you, and let me show you the ingredients. First of all, I have 2 cups of rice. Now this is a white rice that I have rinsed through. I use a colander such as this, kind of a sieve, and I put the white rice in there, and then I pour water from the tap and just use my hand and kind of stir it around like this. And I watch for the water to run more clear. So you'll notice right away when you're rinsing rice, you're going to see that the rice will be the water will be kind of milky. So let it clear up, and then you won't have rice sticking together too much. Here I have just some frozen vegetables. So this is a frozen stir-fried blend that I purchased over at Costco. You can buy them anywhere, but this is the blend that I'm going to be using today because I'm doing a stir-fried chicken. Then I have some chicken thighs that I have cut up into bite-sized pieces. I've used a garlic blend of spices to put on here, and also some Asian spices such as ground ginger, and I put that in here as well. I have also just a sauce that I'll be using. I will not be putting this on until the meal is finished, and then I'll be using that. I have 4 cups of water, and then I have just a teaspoon and a half right here of salt. That really is it. Let me show you how easy this is to put together. First of all, what I always do is I take some oil and I simply spray that into this pan. The pan is supposed to be non-stick, and I do find that it is pretty good at non-stick, but it does kind of gum up on the bottom a little bit. It cleans super easy, so it's never been an issue. But I like the oil in there just in case. Just going to dump in the rice into the pan. Now I'm going to add in the water, 4 cups. 2 cups of rice, 4 cups of water. So it's 2 cups of water for every 1 cup of rice. Here I have just a heaping teaspoon of salt. If you don't salt your rice, it's going to taste very bland. All right, let me stir that in together. Now you can see here that this is not very milky, which is good because I rinsed that rice, and if I didn't rinse the rice, this would look like milky water. Now I just have the 2 cups of frozen stir-fried vegetables. I just pop those right in here. You can use any kind of vegetables you like. Okay, I'm going to open up now the Ninja Combi, and I'll be putting this on the first level on the bottom. Pan goes there. Now I have the chicken, and the chicken will just go onto this pan, which is the cooking pan, and this is going to go on the top level. I just spread that around. You can see that I didn't cook a lot of chicken today, but I have enough here for a couple of people, and that's what I'm after. Okay, now this is gonna go on the top level, right up here, just like that. Close this up. You have two features on this, two different levers, and this is for the combi bake, and you put this one right here on the top, move it that way, and it will use all the features here on this side of the machine. If you move it over here, it's gonna be on the air fry side, and it will do things like air fry, bake, broil, sear and saute. By the way, you can sear and saute in this machine. It's very cumbersome to do so, in my opinion, because you have to keep the door open and be using the tray, and I think you could just burn your hand. I've done that. So if I'm gonna sear and saute something, it's gonna be on my stove, not in here, but it's possible. All right, now I have this set up over here on the combi side, and turn it on. It's already set here in the combi meal area, and it's set for 390, and I'm gonna set this one now for 15 minutes. Press start, we're off to the races. This is my go-to dinner whenever I have forgotten to make dinner, and I know that it's gonna be ready in about 15 or 20 minutes. So this has saved me many times, and it's one of my go-tos, as I said. I also do a lot of Mexican cooking, like I'll be putting in the boxed rice mix, you know, from like Rice-A-Roni. Put a couple of those in, the Spanish rice mix, sometimes they call it taco rice mix, and I'll put some chicken and vegetables up on that tray, which you saw a few minutes ago. Same pattern. The one thing I will tell you is that if you put some chicken on there and on the top tray, and also some peppers and onions, I would go ahead and make like a little bowl of the peppers and onions, or like a little tray of foil, and put the peppers and onions in there, because they do release quite a bit of water. And so that water was just gonna run over into your chicken. To me, that was not great. So, but just keep those peppers and onions separate and you'll have a much better result. Okay, we're off to the races. This is gonna steam up for a few minutes and then do the cook. And when it finishes the cooking, I'm gonna come back and show you the results. By the way, if you're not already a subscriber to my channel, please do so. It really helps us out. Also hit that thumbs up button, I really appreciate it. And please invite a friend to watch the videos and also become a subscriber. Be right back as soon as this wraps up. Okay, my friends, this is finished, and I want to pull this out and show you what a good job the Ninja Combi did. So first of all, I'll take out the top tray and let you see this chicken. So it crisped up very nicely, and it looks great. And this will be going on top of the bowls that we'll make in a few minutes. So that's looking really, really good. Very happy with that. All right, now we'll pull out the rice and the vegetables, and you can see what a good job that did as well. So again, that looks great. What I like to do with this is I like to put a few pats of butter into the rice, because it just makes it a little more rich tasting. So I put 3 or 4 pats of butter, and we'll stir that in. And you can see the vegetables and the rice cooked very, very well. Super happy with that. And all this took 20 minutes. So about 5 minutes prep, about 20 minutes altogether in the combi. Even though you set it for 15 minutes, it takes about 5 minutes to preheat. So you have a lot here, and of course I could have cooked a lot more chicken. If I had done that, we would have enough for, you know, several people. But as it is now, we have certainly enough rice for 8 and enough chicken for 2. Let me get some bowls. I'll show you how to put this together. All right, I'll put this together for you. What I do is I just put some rice into a bowl, like you're seeing here. Simple. Some rice, some of the vegetables. And then I'll put some chicken on top of this, just like that. And then I take some of the sauce, which is just this stuff I buy at the store. I think it's a Panda Express brand. And I just simply add some of the sauce from the stir-fry sauce right on top. Just like that. And you can put as much of the sauce on or as little as you want. of course, it's your choice. So you can do whatever you like. All right, that's really it. Today's show was really not about the recipe, although I showed you one. It's about the combi. Do I think the combi is worthwhile? I absolutely do. I love it. I use it several times a week. I use it the way that I've shown you today. I also use it for air frying a lot, especially like for quick lunches and things like that. I've cooked some different breads in there as far as proofing goes. I've cooked some cakes, as I said, so it does a really good job. Well, thanks again for watching the video today. I really do appreciate it. Please do me a favor, if you have not subscribed to the channel already, please do so. Give us a big thumbs up. It really helps us out, and we will see you next time. Take care.